Inside the busy city of Port Harcourt, life moved fast, but for Adora, every day felt like a slow struggle just to survive. She once held a university degree, full of dreams and ambition, but reality had pushed her into a corner. The only job she could find was working as a cleaner inside a private hospital. She never complained. She simply did what she had to do. That morning began like any other. The long hospital corridors were shining under white lights as Adora pushed her mop bucket forward, cleaning silently while doctors and nurses rushed past her. In hospitals like this, emergencies were normal, so no one paid attention to a cleaner doing her job. But then something unusual happened. A sudden rush of footsteps echoed through the hallway. Doctors appeared from every direction, pushing a man on a stretcher straight into the emergency room. Machines beeped loudly. Voices overlapped. The atmosphere changed instantly. Adora stepped aside quickly, her eyes following the chaos for a moment before she returned to her work. She didn't know that the man on that stretcher would change her life forever. Hours passed. The hospital slowly returned to its usual calm. Adora finished cleaning one wing and walked toward the storage room to return her tools. As she passed an open ward, something made her stop. Inside the room was the same man who had been rushed in earlier. He was lying on the bed, unconscious, an oxygen mask covering his face. But something was wrong. The mask had slipped slightly to the side. His breathing was unstable. Adora looked around. No doctor, no nurse, no one. Her heart began to race. She remembered the hospital rules clearly. Cleaners were not allowed to touch patients under any circumstances. Breaking that rule meant instant dismissal. But she also saw something else. A man struggling to breathe. For a moment, she stood frozen between fear and humanity. If I go to call someone, what if it's too late? She whispered to herself. Then she made a decision. Adora quietly stepped into the ward. Her hands trembled as she carefully adjusted the oxygen mask back onto the man's face. Almost immediately, his breathing stabilized. Relief crossed her face, just for a second. The door suddenly opened. A senior doctor stood there. His eyes locked on her hand still near the patient. "What are you doing?" he shouted. Adora quickly stepped back. "Sir," the mask had slipped. "I was just trying to help him." The doctor's face hardened. "Who gave you permission to touch a patient?" "No one, sir." But he was struggling to breathe. Before she could finish, the doctor raised his hand and called out loudly, "Security!" Within moments, 2 guards entered. "This woman is fired immediately," the doctor ordered. Adora's eyes widened. "Please, sir, I was only trying to save him." But it was already over. She was escorted out of the hospital like a criminal. The gates closed behind her. And just like that, her life changed in a single moment. 6 months later, the same hospital was calm again. But fate was preparing something unexpected. The man who had once been rushed into the emergency room had survived. After weeks of treatment and recovery, he had returned to his normal life. His name was Mr. Barbau, a billionaire, a powerful businessman, owner of one of the largest real estate companies in the country. That morning, he sat in the doctor's office receiving his final checkup report. "You are fully recovered," the doctor said with a smile. "Just avoid stress and overworking yourself." Mr. Barbau nodded quietly. Understood. But even as he smiled, his mind never stopped working. He believed success came from discipline, control, and hard work. He also believed most people only helped others when they expected something in return. That belief had shaped his entire life. He had no idea that someone had once risked everything for him, without expecting anything. Weeks passed. Adora's life became harder. Jobless, homeless soon, hoping every day for something better, but receiving nothing but rejection. "Do you have experience?" "No. Sorry, we can't help you." So she survived on small cleaning jobs in shops, washing plates in food stalls, sweeping floors just to earn enough for food and rent. But even that little stability was about to disappear. One evening, she returned to her compound and found a notice on her door. The landlord had sold the property. Everyone had 2 months to leave. Her heart sank. "Where will I go now?" she whispered. And just like that, she was pushed closer to the edge again. The final day came. Workers were removing tenants' belongings. People were crying, begging, carrying whatever they could. Adora knelt in front of the landlord. "Please, sir, just give me more time. I'm still trying." But he refused. "Move your things." Her mattress was dragged out, her clothes thrown onto the ground. She stood helpless. And then, 2 black SUVs entered the compound. The entire atmosphere changed. Men in suits stepped out first. Then the rear door opened. A man stepped out slowly. Powerful, calm, confident. "Mr. Barbau." The landlord rushed forward. "Welcome, sir. You are the new owner." Adora froze. She stared at him closely. Something felt familiar. Then it hit her. The hospital. The emergency ward. The man she saved. Her breath stopped for a moment. She stepped forward slowly. "Good afternoon, sir." He looked at her. "Good afternoon." Her voice trembled slightly. "Sir, how is your health now?" Mr. Barbau frowned. "My health?" "Yes, sir. You were brought to the hospital some months ago." That sentence triggered everything. As she explained what happened, the oxygen mask, the doctor, the dismissal, his expression slowly changed. He listened, carefully, fully. For the first time, doubt entered his mind. Could it really be true? He raised his hand toward the landlord. "Stop everything." The men froze. "Give them time. 3 more weeks," he said calmly. Then he turned back to Adora. "What is your name?" "Adora, sir." He nodded once and left. That night, he made a call. "Verify something for me." A week later, the truth arrived. A cleaner named Adora had indeed been fired the same day he was admitted. Because she touched a patient. Because she tried to save a life. Silence filled his study after the call ended. For the first time, Mr. Barbau sat with a feeling he wasn't used to. Guilt. The next morning, he returned. And this time, he saw her again, not as a cleaner, not as a tenant, but as the woman who had saved his life without asking for anything in return. "What would you like me to give you?" he asked. Adora shook her head. "Nothing, sir. Helping someone is not something you pay for." That answer stayed with him longer than anything else in his life. Because in a world where everything had a price, she had done something priceless. And from that moment, everything began to change.